producers, whether they are manufacturers, whether they are consumers, whether they are standard organization like ISO or TIS in the country or Food and Drug Administration in other countries as well. So every country is having their own specifications of the materials, their labeling, and so many things are involved. So the management of all these things is very important. If you cannot manage it efficiently, definitely it will be injurious to the health of the masses. With these words, I will not take much of your time. I once again welcome you all at this event. I'm confident that the participants who have gathered over here, they will be benefited by the expert talk which our expert will be delivering right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your motivational speech. Now, I would like to call Co-Vice Chancellor, Professor Jayanand on the dais.
Good afternoon, Honorable Vice Chancellor, respected the Dean, Lecturers, Professor Tyagi Sahab, and luminary speaker, Mrs. Monica, faculty members, and the students. Today, we all are gathered. Before I proceed further, we are very much fortunate that today we have Mrs. V.K. Tyagi. Let us applaud her to come over here. I would request Dr. Navneesh Tyagi to honor her, please. She is a technical person, and you will be surprised that he has been awarded with 2 times PhD degree. Yeah, earned, in fact. PhD has been earned. Okay. That is a great thing. May I request you, ma'am, just 2 minutes, please, if you permit. Just come and address our students.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very happy to see the young men in front of me, and you people are hearing from expert. But one thing that I would like to say to everyone sitting in this auditorium of Shobhit University, all the teachers are the gem of their kind. And I will request to all of you, in your future, if you are not thinking to become a teacher, and keep it in the first list, that in future, if you get a chance, you should try to become a teacher. Because teachers are the best creation by the God. So that is the one thing. And if God is going to ask one thing to me, what is my wish? So I'm going to say, if there is a second God, if there is any choice, so again, I would like. So that is the entire thing. And teaching is my love, my passion, and I would love to teaching 24 hours. I'm a teacher, and this is all because of I had learned 2 bachelor's degree, 2 master's degree, 2 PhD degree, and if you know the case behind it, it's all because of my husband. So thank you so much. It's fun to be a good human being in the life and try to, keep the mental health and I as well. God is great. If you have it, we're going to thank you so much.
So now you might be agreeing with that. We are very much fortunate that he is with us today. Today's topic is food safety, chemical hazards, and management. As you all know, every day the population is increasing day by day, and the basic necessity is the food. most basic necessity is the food. That means if the population is increasing, you have to have the food amount, food production more and more every day as the population is increasing. But limitations are there. The land cannot grow as the population is increasing. So what would be done? The chemical fertilizers, the pesticides, the other agrochemicals will be applied. That we do that. But what are the consequences? The health hazards are there because of the toxicants, because these chemicals, the heavy metals, the organic metals, organic chemicals are coming in the food chain, and it is coming in our metabolic system. Ultimately, it disturbs the biochemical system of the body, and then after physiology of the body is going to be disturbed. And that is why if the prolonged physiology is disturbed, so it may consequence the kidney problem, the lung problem, the liver problem, the cancer, cardiac problem, any kind of problem. It depends on the what kind of exposure you have. So what are the remedials? Because we all are the young scholars, so we have to give the society the solution. What the solution we can propose? The one solution came that genetically modified corn can be there, isn't it? Which can be resistant to the pesticide, which can grow better as compared to the wild variety or the normal variety. But again, the problems are there. GMO, you might have heard about this. It is not been implemented in the act. So, what to be done? Now these days, the nanotechnology is coming up. Nanomedicines are coming up. Different technologies are coming. So in such of that, we are here to see, to learn from the luminary speaker how to manage the demand of food and the safety, as well as the existing toxic chemicals. So I would not take much time. So rest of the things will be taught by our luminary speaker. So thank you, madam, for joining us and coming to this campus. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. Everybody is awake afterwards? I want to take some time to present myself today, but before I present myself and the topic I have brought to all of you, I want to say thank you to respected Chancellor, Vice Chancellor, and the these direct lecturer, faculty members, staff members, so many people who have made so much efforts to organize this event, and of course, all of you, the wonderful audience and students. I hope whatever I'm presenting today, you will get a glimpse of a safety management system from me. I am a professional. I'm a professional who has a 15+ year experience working in the United States for the food manufacturing organizations. I started my journey here in India after completing my master's in technology from INSTITUT Kanpur. I went to British Soya, that was a oil processing company. So I started my journey, professional journey here within India, and then I joined IIT Delhi for my PhD, but unfortunately I couldn't complete and got married and then start my new life. And in that life, I was not by choice. I landed in a food manufacturing, landed in a small scale food manufacturing organization, and that was a learning for me. I started my career with a very small company, but I gained lots of experience at that company. That company was importing a lot of food from Europe as well as manufacturing yogurt. In my career, this is myself. I have a double master's degree. One is from India, from HBTU Kanpur, as well as another one is master's in food safety from MSU, that's Michigan State University. I have earned multiple certifications throughout these years. Those are required when you try to become a professional and build the skills. You need some certifications. I have, after completing my 7 years with a small scale manufacturing organization, I went to a corporate quality manager role where I was managing external manufacturing for baby food and toddler food. I was working with 21 co-manufacturers who were making infant and toddler baby food for our organization, and I was overseeing their quality and food safety management. After that, right now, for past 6 years, I'm working for Canvas Soup Company. My current organization is a 150+ year organization making soup, feeding America. Their special, different variety of soups. There was a challenging time before COVID for us in the business, but COVID has given some strength to the business because people prefer to have the processed food. But this is not only the business we have, we also have some snacking business. So I gain a lot of experience because I am not in a core manufacturing plant versus I'm supporting R&D right now. So in this organization, we work on from the ideation to manufacturing. I work with 140+ product developers who comes to me and they want to make the food in our plant and they want to take it to the manufacturing level. So we are the one who actually commercialize food to those big plants. So we start at our plant and send it to the main manufacturing plant. We have a 20+ manufacturing facilities where actual food is get prepared and distributed to the stores and to the consumers. So today, this is my brief introduction, and then I want to come to the main point, like main agenda item, which I want to talk to you today. Chemical hazards, as we talk about. Can I just change? Okay. So it is a little big agenda. I don't get tried on looking at 30 slides here. I will try most of the time spending myself talking to you guys, interacting with you every 5 minutes. You can pause for a minute and take question, whatever question you have relevant to the slide. And I also want to thank you to people who are joining online. I'm sorry, I forgot about you, but I really apologize for that. Thank you so much for joining online today. So we're going to talk about what are the hazards in food that can be potentially present Then we're going to talk about the chemical hazard. I want to talk today about the food allergens. Those are naturally occurring toxicants and very, very important. And why they are important, I will know. And then how do we manage these allergens when we are manufacturing food in our plant? How do we make sure the food is safe? And how we protect the lines, as well as ensuring there's no cross contact. And prevention and control, and at the end, why we should educate people and train people to create the awareness about the allergy. So whenever we have an idea, I want to make it, we conceptually then start to think about, okay, when we're making this food, what type of hazard could be possible? So there are three different categories we can have the hazard. One is physical, another one is chemical, and third one is microbiological. Everything is super important on this slide. In the chemical hazard, we also talk about radiological hazard nowadays, but that is not represented. But most important, we need to understand why chemical hazards are important to address and how we mitigate, ensure that whenever we are delivering food to our consumer, it's wholesome and safe for the consumer. So the contaminants you see here, again, microbiological chemicals there. We're going to talk about the natural toxicants. Environmental is the another concern. Agriculture, this one highlighted the pesticides, heavy metals. That's a big thing nowadays, especially in the US and Europe. And the food process, toxicants, and the intentionally. The food process toxicants, Professor V.K. Tyagi actually highlighted a little bit when we clean our lines, when we store our ingredients, raw materials, how they can be cross-contact with the chemicals used in the lines. And what are the lines? I'm going to explain it in a minute. And then we have added chemicals. Think about it. There are people around who could be disgruntled, they could be motivated to harm the mass population, and there is a possibility of intentional contamination. So I'm thinking of the natural toxicant, and that's coming like from the allergens. So why I choose to present allergens to you guys? When I was here 20 years back, we were not having a lot of awareness about the allergens. Allergens are the food, they create allergy in our body. Not everybody can be allergic, but there is a mass population that can be allergic to one or other component of the food. So they are basically protein. They are basically could be anything that can harm to our immune system. A lot of people sneeze. Oh, what is that type of allergy? That is basically coming from the airborne. Something is coming from the drugs. Something is coming from substance. Like people have latex allergies. And the allergens are the substance that actually initiate a chemical reaction in our body, and that produce an alarm in our body. Hey, something is coming in my body, and I'm not adjusting to that. That means you're reacting to that component of the food. Oh, sorry. So when we consume some kind of food, any kind of food, and we are sensitive to it, type of reactions. One could be allergic, life-threatening. People can really die from the allergy. And another one is the intolerance. Like I ate something, it disturbed my body, it's not accepted by my body. So allergies are like the body's immune system abnormal response can be fatal. And the intolerance is like a little bit related to your digestive system or appearance on the skin. And that could be from the wheat, gluten, lactose, for several different things. So whenever we consume a food, if something is toxic, that's going to give you food poisoning. If something is not toxic, that's going to give you allergy. And allergy could be food intolerance that we just talked about, and that is such as intolerance of the lactose sulfide or gluten. These are the chemicals that are present in our food as an ingredient. If you ever buy something from a store pre-packaged, and you get the 40 plus ingredients sometimes. You don't give attention to those, but if you look at it, there could be hidden sulfides, there could be hidden lactose or something that can cause adverse reaction to your body. So allergic reaction level could be dermal, could be circulatory, respiratory, could be gastro, and it could be anaphylaxis also. Anaphylaxis means something really came in my body, not adjusting. The immune system is responding really fine, very fast. And what's going to happen is it gives you a very little time to respond. That means somebody can be really having a severe reaction and pass out. Somebody can really sustain it, depending on the dose, how much doses of allergen body can really take, or it can be gone in the body. That's the pictorial version of allergic reaction. So allergy is a trace amount of allergen can trigger a reaction. So the dose is really important. If even the lowest amount of dose is very important. For example, when we work with some, I'm going to present to you guys what are the major food allergens. And wheat is the number one cause. Very, very surprising. We Indians eat survive on the wheat, on the chapati, on the roti, and Americans are sensitive or allergic to the wheat. Wheat is the number one cause of the reaction is there, and peanuts. We grew up on the peanuts, and unfortunately, in Europe and United States, a lot of peanut allergies exist. So dose is really important. Even a less than 10 ppm dose could be fatal. It is such a trace, such a minute quantity, but it can be very harmful. Again, everybody reacts differently how you take it. Food allergy cannot be cured. This is something related to our DNA. We get it from our family. We cannot cure it. We can only manage it. And the best is awareness. We are aware what are the food allergens. We know how to read our labels on the package. You can really manage it very well. Any questions so far? Anybody? Good. All right. Talk about this later. So these are the major food allergens. 90% allergens are fish, shellfish, and eggs, soy milk, wheat, and sesame. You will be surprised. The majority of Indian foods are made with the wheat. We use milk in literally every other food, sesame, peanut, but we don't know that we are allergic to. It is very important to learn what am I allergic to. Some people think it just happened, nothing major, but over the time, your body becomes sensitive, and if you leave this unaddressed, it can cause harm to your body. So it's very important from the beginning that we either make ourselves aware, also make others aware that what could be the potential allergen in my food, and that can cause harm to us. Besides the allergen, there are also sensitive ingredients or agents that cause sensitivity to the body, such as sulfide. In the United States, we recognize all these ingredients as a sensitive ingredient. Sulfides, monosodium glutamate, lactose, yellow 5 is a color. It's very restrictive, very controlled how to use yellow 5. Celery is a type of produce vegetable. People use it for the vegetables, juices, and salads in different forms in the United States. And you will be surprised that people get allergic reactions. And these are growing. This is a very simple sample setting. I can even tell you people get allergic to apple. People get allergy with different types of food, anything. And this number of lists keep on growing. And I'm sorry, I cannot tell you, I don't have data to present you guys from the India perspective, but in the United States, we have a highest number of food product recall because of undeclared allergens on the label. Manufacturer are not being, they're not declaring properly or not organizing the processing in such a way, and undeclared allergen goes on the shelf of the stores. People consume it, they fall sick. FDA, that means our police on us, and they are just sitting on our head all the time. We need to follow their rules, and they can force us to recall the product. They have a authority to come into the plant and shut down the plant if we are not managing chemical hazards properly. They are our boss, technically. So it is very important at every step we manage these hazards. So some of the things which I was talking, increasing prevalence of the food allergies, it's going on everywhere. And there are new reports coming on. Besides major 9 allergens, there are more allergies are developing. People's immune system is becoming sensitive. Yeah, and also, again, I was telling about 30% of recalls are because labels are not properly designed. There is a miss in the label. They are not putting the ingredients correctly, or they did not declare the allergen, potential allergen on the label. So awareness, education, communication is very important in our industry. This type of presentation, how to manage the allergen, we give to our staff every year non-stop to create the awareness. What is their role as a first line employee in the manufacturing environment, to make sure whatever they are doing on the line is very important, because that's what the consumer is going to consume. It's very important. So they have a significant role when we make this food. Their training is very important. So when we talk about the allergens, we want to see, okay, where are all these things coming in my food? Can I at least get an idea about it? So formula, we start, as I told you, I work with product developers. My first question when they come with a recipe to me, is there any allergen? I need to know. I'm a quality manager, I'm a food safety manager in my plant. It is absolutely my responsibility to know when we are using a formula to design a product, what are the allergens? Then raw material, when we are procuring the raw material, a supplier has to disclose what type of allergen is present in that ingredient. They have a role in that whole process. Then we talk about the equipment, how well we clean our machines to deliver the product without any contamination. Cleaning is very important. Premises cleaning is very important, besides the machine. Packaging is very important. Labeling is very important. When we have a formula, we want to make sure every single ingredient we are using in that recipe, that is being declared on the label. Labeling is very, very important. And of course, as I said, people who are handling ingredient, who are handling the machine, who are handling the label, everybody plays this as a very, very important role to manage these allergens in manufacturing. So formula is basically, we have to be very clear and honest and transparent. Sometimes I'm going to give a very simple example, guys. There was a major recall in the United States in 2014. And the reason was there was a spice blend used in a recipe, and on the label it was called spice blend. And nobody declared what it was in the spice blend. So there was a cumin in the spice blend, cumin, jeera, and that wherever it was growing, it cross-contacted with the peanut in the farming stage. And that peanut was invisibly present in the spice blend. And people who had a peanut allergy used that formula, got sick and got reported. It was a major, major, major recall in the food industry. You know, about that. It was a classic example why we have to be very honest and transparent when we formulate our product. We are not going to formulate, if we are not going to formulate our product with the proper ingredients and not disclosing, it could be fatal for some. Again, I'm a manufacturer. Yes. So there could be something which is sensitive for their body. And again, it is very much, allergen is very much also self-awareness and understanding what is causing harm to my body. Chinese food, what you were talking about, is being made with the several different type of ingredient to make it to the palate taste, right? To make it tasty for you. So Ajinomoto is MSG, which we're talking about. MSG is a very good ingredient of question, like what is I should eat or not. A lot of people don't eat. They call it that I am allergic to the Ajinomoto. They don't really consume it. That's MSG, monosodium glutamate is the, and that's why I presented monosodium glutamate as a sensitive ingredient. Yes. So again, allergen management is also dependent on you. If you are aware I'm allergic to peanut, you have to say no to that. We teach our children as they are growing that when you go outside, you cannot eat wheat food. So people, even in our school system over there, people with allergies are identified. They don't even sit next to the kid who is eating peanut or eating bread or eating roti chapati. So it's also very much depends on you. You should be aware what type of allergy you have. So, oh, sorry about that. So it's also depend on the supplier. If I'm a producer of a product, I take care of sanitation, I take care of everything. But my supplier is not that much, in the standard. They're not following the rules and sending me a product. This is already contaminated. So we test our product one another. When we receive an ingredient, we test. If I want to make a product, claim it be gluten free. I want to make sure all the ingredients I'm using in that manufacturing, they do not contain gluten. So we test our ingredient upon. I'm not sitting next to a peanut product. For example, I have a product running that's called peanut free. If we are using that allergen, we want to make sure we have identified yellow tag that's of allergens. I cannot store this product in a normal shelf where I have other products which have allergens, such as peanut, shellfish, or anything. It's very important we store. That's again come to good manufacturing practices, GMP laws, how to store your ingredients, make sure they're not getting contaminated from the or cross-contacted with any other ingredients or environment. The storage is very important, as I talked about it. Some more examples have been shown over there. Always, you have to make sure you're not storing something which is containing allergen on top of something non-allergen. So this is like I'm giving you a highlight of a food production environment. If anyone of you are a food science student or somebody who wants to manufacture in the future, you will see that manufacturers use these kind of a good manufacturing practices, labeling practices, storage practices to ensure if they are making any kind of food, it's wholesome and safe. Wholesome and safe. This is the most important. These are two words which are very important in this industry. If you go to anywhere, versus you go to Coke, you go to Nestle, you go to Pepsi, wholesome and safe. They're very important words for us. And when we manufacture our food, we have a large bin because we're not making 10 containers or 20 bottles or 50 packets. We make in the millions. And the packages, the raw materials we use, it comes in big totes, gigantic bags, directly goes on the line, in the hopper, mixing and all that kind of stuff. So when we label those secondary, like suppose I have received something in a super sack and then I'm transferring that into a small container, that should be labeled to identify proper allergen. Because from the receiving, from the prepping, now I'm standing in for manufacturing. Allergen must be identified. If there's a peanut present, it must be called on the label. I'm talking about the label, which is in manufacturing. I have not talked to the finished product label yet. It's the labels which we call secondary container labeling when we are using this in the process. And scheduling is very important. This is something I learned over there. I was never aware this is so important because manufacturing lines are not like I'm making one product. I'm making macaroni and cheese on a line, that means now I'm going to change over. Change over means now macaroni and cheese, I'm going for different type of product. Macaroni and cheese has a milk in it. Milk is an allergen. That means I have to clean my line, remove every single trace of milk in order to move to the tomato soup. Because tomato soup should not have any kind of dairy product. So that is very important. So we schedule in a way so that first we may produce something which have no allergen, and then we make something which has allergen. It has to be progressive. Now coming to the labeling, most important part. If my recipe is calling out that my product has peanut, it is very important that we are labeling the product correctly. Quality assurance team, this is my team also in my organization, ensures that every label has a right component on it, and we are basically calling it out clearly for consumer who can read it and understand that my food has whatever is there, and if I can consume it or not consume it. So this is just an example I wanted to give you quickly. The ingredient is calling that there is a star, there is a sugar, there is an egg and butter. And butter could have milk. So remember, there are 4 different types of allergens. And then they call it sustainably sourced, contains egg, milk, and meat. It is manufacturer responsibility to call out that there is an allergen present on the label. It is your responsibility for you to read your labels accurately. If I'm allergic to something, I need to know. Then lastly, I want to also emphasize for a manufacturer, cleaning is very important. We just don't clean our lines being the gigantic kettles, the vacuum pumps, the fillers. We need to make sure they get clean, and then we verify if they've clean or not. We use Neogen swabbing kit. It indicates if there is a protein present in there. If the test fails, we re-clean again. That's the protocol for quality and operation. People are very important. They must be trained. They should be knowing why I have to do this job, why I have to do allergen sanitation. Because if I don't do my job properly, I can kill somebody. So it is very important. It was very not a very good example when an employee ate peanut in the lunch break, did not wash his hands, went directly to the filler and filling the product and cross-contact with the product, and there was a major recall. So people, their training, very important. So just a top level highlight, raw material handling, storage, transportation, people, cleaning, equipment, airborne particles, supply chain packaging. These could be another potential source that can cross-contaminate our product. So in order to protect our food from any cross-contact, we need to consider everything. Are we managing the supply chain from where we are getting the product? We need to see that. We have to assure that our suppliers are buttoned up, they know how to produce those type of food under the FDA regulation. All right, I'm gonna skip this part, and we're gonna give you some example that food manufacturer also do the color coding system. When they handle the allergen, they use color coding. It could be up to you what you would like to use. We use red color. Most of the manufacturers use red color. There is an allergen containing ingredient. They use only red color to in the production. Just an example. So I'm going to conclude my speech here. Whatever I was trying to share my experience with you for the allergen management. This is a bigger picture for everything. If you want to become a food manufacturer tomorrow, you want to have your own organization, as a lot of new generation is aspired to be entrepreneur, and you decided to produce a different type of food, and just make sure that you take care of allergens, because these are really important for somebody's life. And from the formulation, from the management of raw material ingredients, labeling and designing and sanitation, this is absolutely important that somebody own this process. I am quality manager. I am developing policy, writing programs, but that doesn't mean anything if people who has to follow, they don't follow that. It's absolutely me who is going to sign off on all this plan and ensure people are trained. They are doing the testing. They are filling the proper documentation. It goes a lot. Just to prepare one can of soup, it goes a lot in there, especially from the quality and food. So with that, I will conclude. I hope this presentation will aspire you to somewhere, sometime become a food scientist or a food manufacturer somewhere. Maybe this will inspire you to join the food industry and I will help you out more. If any question after this session, maybe we don't have time right now, I will leave. Yeah, sure. Yes, I think that's the same question she was asking. Monosodium glutamate is not considered as an allergen yet. It's called sensitizing agent. And how we control it, that we allow not more than 10 ppm per serving in the food. The control is up to, a lot goes to the regulatory agency. In India, regulators has to force manufacturer to not to exceed more than 10 ppm in the food. If they do not force it, like for example, FDA force it. FDA literally force every manufacturer to follow the guidance on the allergens. Gluten is only 5 ppm. If there is a more than 5 ppm, they can come and walk in and reject the entire lot. They can just say millions of package has to be trashed out because the gluten is more than 5 ppm. Similarly, your monosodium glutamate must be controlled by regulators. Somebody from the government has to force how much they can allow, and also people should be aware what am I consuming here. Any other question? I think I'm over time. Sorry, I'm a little late. I'm trying to be on time. Yes, sir. That's a good question.
Who would like to make a arrangement for this?
And on the same note, I think what they do, regulators go to the sample.
In the kind of 67% of the objective, there is a very strict regulation.
You're right, sir. I think government officials can walk into the stores, they can grab the samples, they can test it in the lab, and if they find out of compliance, they can reject it and they can ask the manufacturer to destroy it. Spot testing also, exactly.
We don't allow that not to take the preparations in food inspecting the food of all that if he finds anything on the sample, so there are two points. It's not that. If the guy say that for the food element, he will tell you that what are the spots there. Because nothing is invited in maybe that can invite him for. Do it.
Bilkul. I had never heard peanut allergies in India when I was here 20 years back. When I went there, I heard that a lot of people are peanut allergic. So it is possible, it is geographical, ecological, it could be anything. So as I said, the allergies are at rise. Maybe in India, there's a different type of allergies. I'm unaware, I have never worked in India, but I can definitely assure you that these are the allergens I present, they are becoming a global concern right now. All right. Thank you. So, oh, okay. Go ahead. So, okay, I think sir want to take that privilege to explain why wheat is an allergy in USA and not in India. And gluten is a component of the allergy. Be exact. Orange theory will apply that. Boys and girls, thank you so much. It was my honor and privilege to be here today. Thank you so much, sir, for inviting me here and giving me an opportunity to speak to all of you. I'm always available if you need if you have any question, I'm willing to support all of you. If you are becoming a food scientist in future, I will definitely like to support anybody's journey. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day.
Thank you, ma'am, for your acknowledging and kindful words. Now, I would like to call our Honorable Vice Chancellor, A.P. Garg, sir, on the dais. Sir, please take the respective position.
Very good afternoon to all. Now, I must congratulate Monica to give a wonderful presentation. Oh, wonderful talk. And the several questions which have come to the mind of the youngsters, of them, I think that the first question which should come in your mind that why anybody is allergic to some compounds or some food materials and why the others are not. This is one question, isn't it? And why the allergy is induced is the second question, isn't it? Okay, so I will address the first question. In fact, the allergy, you can say, or allergens which induce the allergy. In the allergy can be defined any foreign substance. Foreign substance means which is not a part of your body, which is not a constituent part of your body. Now, you might have seen in the Vedic science, Vedic literature, and in our village culture that we say that during the pregnancy, the ladies should be given all types of food, every type of food. And if during the pregnancy, some ladies, they avoid one or two types of the food, then these components do not pass on to the child. And whenever the child is exposed to these type of the constituents, then they become the allergens. You might have heard the name of Vishkanya. What was that? That was the same. That during the very childhood, they were given very small poison. And they became so poisonous that if they will bite, then the man will. I'll give another example. You stop eating the salt, your blood becomes poison. Now I give you the example that why the people in Western countries are allergic to some substance and why the Indians are not. Because the Indian food habits and exposure to the various type of the materials is so wide that our immunity system, our body constituent system is much better. You have seen during the COVID-19 situation that most of the Indian population, they were assistant or they were immune to this COVID-19 virus, you can say, coronavirus. I give you another example that most of the Western people, you will find that they are allergic even to the orange juice. Many people you will find. 40-50% of the people in the Western countries, you will find that they are allergic to the orange juice. But have you heard anyone allergic to orange juice in India? No. So gluten is one of the part of the wheat. This is present 3 to 5% in the wheat. And this is the most important problem many times I have addressed. That cereals are the major cause of the diabetes. If you are having the diabetes, you reduce your cereals consumption, then you will be able to recover. When we started the January 2023, I told you that I have changed my diet and I took the resolution for this year that I will slowly reduce. And I have already reduced the cereals harm. And I am feeling much more comfortable. Now I tell you that why. That gluten, in fact, it gets stick to your intestine inner wall. This intestine inner wall, and on the outer wall there are the gut microbes. So it makes a wall between your gut microbiome and your intestine. So whatever the amount of the enzymes, vitamins, and all these components are secreted by the gut microbes, they do not get absorbed to your intestine and they are not made available to your body. And even your digestion is reduced. Because whatever the digestive enzymes are produced, they all are produced by the gut microbiome. 70% of your immunity is under the control of the gut microbes. 70%. So if you want to keep your gut microbiome healthy, stop eating cereals. मैंने आज ये कल भी पोस्ट किया है फेसबुक पर, आपने देखा होगा. Stop eating cereals to keep your gut microbiome healthy. Reduce it slowly and slowly. Increase the diet of the fruits. Increase the diet of the vegetables. Shobhit University is doing the research on this particular aspect, and the one of the thesis very in a coming months will be submitted, and the research paper has already been published. That if you eat fibrous diet, that is which is having the more fibers, then it will increase the population of the gut microbiome, particularly the bifidobacterium. And bifidobacterium is a happy bacteria. It produces the butyric acid, and butyric acid induces the happiness. So eat the vegetables. Last time, if you remember, that I gave you one formula that whatever is your weight, if your weight is 70 kilograms, then eat at least 700 grams of the fruits and vegetables in the whole day. If your weight is 80 kilograms, eat at least 800 grams. And if you observe this diet, you will survive for more than 100 years. Guaranteed. Even during this polluted situation. So the functional food. Last time I was just studying in the Nature, this paper has been published last week, that some of the plant pathogens, plant fungi, they are now able to infect humans. This is the most serious concern. And if such type of the situation occurs, then if the fungi can adapt, then the bacteria and the virus, they are already adapted, and the bacteria will also adapt. Then it will become a very difficult situation. So this climate change and the change in the food habits, change in the ecosystem, change in so many things is compelling every living organism on this earth. Every living organ on this earth is struggling. And during the struggling, they are finding the alternate host. and nobody knows. Today also we were having a news that one of the first patient has died from the bird flu, because of the bird flu, the human. So the transfer of these animal viruses, transfer of these plant viruses to the humans, and this corona is also an animal virus which has been transmitted to the humans. So this type of the situation, or this type of the climate change system, or the change of the food habits, change of the circular ecosystem, or the interference in the natural system, it is compelling each and every component of this ecosystem. I think that I have been able to explain you both the questions. That if you want to remain healthy, eat everything. I used to say, taste everything but from a distance. It means आप सब कुछ खाइए लेकिन एडिक्ट किसी की मत बनिए. ज्यादा अच्छाई भी बुरी होती है. So don't become too much good. Otherwise the people will exploit you. So be normal. Be normal. बुरा भी मत बनिए, बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा भी मत बनिए, क्योंकि समाज आजकल ऐसा ही है. इसीलिए खाने पीने में सब कुछ खाइए पीजिए. But don't become addict. अभी आप लोगों ने देखा होगा कि टू मच हाइड्रेशन इज ऑल्सो हार्मफुल. ज्यादा पानी आप पिएंगे तो वो भी हार्मफुल है, कम पिएंगे वो भी हार्मफुल है. सो लिव लाइक ए नॉर्मल पर्सन. 2 घंटे से ज्यादा फेसबुक पे रहेंगे तो वो भी हार्मफुल है, और अगर फेसबुक को छुएंगे नहीं तो वो भी हार्मफुल है. जो जैन साहब है, फेसबुक छूते ही नहीं है. मैंने आपकी कोई पोस्ट कोई देखी नहीं, इसलिए मैंने क्या नहीं. हाँ, लास्ट टाइम मैंने देखा था आपकी फेक आईडी बनी हुई थी. तो मेरी आपको यही सलाह है कि आप जो है, फूड हैबिट्स आर वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, एंड फूड इज वन ऑफ द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट कंपोनेंट, most important requirement of your body for the energy. And Professor Janan was telling about the food. So I tell you that 56% food more will be required by 2050. And 560 million hectare land, additional land will be required by 2050. And while the land will be reduced by 12% by 2050. So what you will do, the answer is not the pesticide. Answer is not the pesticide. The answer is the microbial foods. By 2050, you will find that 40% of the population will eat the microbial foods. Already many of the microbial foods, they are already in the market. You go to the Western countries, you will find several microbial foods. So biomass, microbial biomass, it will become popular, will become common. You will get plenty of jobs in pharma industry, food industry, agriculture industry. यही 3 इंडस्ट्री में जॉब मिलेंगे आपको. कंप्यूटर, एआई अब दूसरा चौथा है, लेकिन एआई का तो ऐसा है कि अप एंड डाउन. लेकिन ये 3 इंडस्ट्रीज में आपको बताता हूं, फार्मा, एग्रीकल्चर, फूड विल नेवर डाई. लॉ तो ऐसा है कि सिविलाइज्ड नेशन जिस दिन बन जाएगा उस दिन लॉ खत्म हो जाएगा. लॉ इज मोर रिक्वायर्ड इन अनसिविलाइज्ड वर्ल्ड. चलिए अब आपकी बात मान लेते हैं. क्योंकि लॉ है, मैनेजमेंट है, ये तो सब चीजें ऐसी है कि ये तो एक बेसिक, इनके बिना काम चल भी सकता है. 2, 4, 5 दिन, 1 महीने काम चल सकता है, लेकिन ये फूड इंडस्ट्री हुई, हेल्थ इंडस्ट्री हुई, एग्रीकल्चर, इनके बिना तो एक दिन भी काम नहीं चलता. ये तो एक ऐसी है कि जो बेसिक फंडामेंटल है. बाकी जो चीजें वो प्रोग्रेशन के हैं. हालांकि जरूरत तो सभी चीज की है, पहले सोसाइटी के लिए एवरीथिंग इज रिक्वायर्ड एंड एवरीथिंग इज नेसेसरी, but only you have to work that you have to go on at the top. At the top. At the below level, there is much competition. On the earth, there is more competition. In the sky, there is no competition. So go on the top. As you will rise, the competition will be reduced. As you will come down, the competition will increase. So you have to decide that what you have to do. Whether you have to remain on the earth or whether you have to fly in the sky. So best of luck. Thank you very much. And it was a wonderful presentation on the allergens. And the allergens, you know that in India, although it is a mandatory requirement, FSSAI now they have prepared the exhaustive list of all the components, food ingredients, and they are regularly tested. Regularly tested. And there are strict laws. एक मैं आपसे बात करना चाहूंगा सबसे, अगर आप लोगों ने समझाए, बताइए वाटर को हम मिल्क में मिला दें तो एडल्ट्रेशन है नहीं है? Who will give the answer? If we add water in the milk, is it adulteration or not? Adulteration की definition ये थी, foreign substance which is injurious to the health. ठीक है? Now I ask there in the confusion दूर हो जाएगा immediately. Definition जो शुरू में foreign adulteration की definition थी आप देखेंगे, the foreign substance which is injurious to the health is adulterant. And now if we add water to the milk, is it adulterant or not? तो पानी वाले को तो रोज एक्साइज ड्यूटी वाला चालान काट देता है, उसका भर देता है सैंपल, फिर क्या है? जो मैडम ने सूप दो बताए, मतलब एक ऐसे जो क्वालिटी गिराए, खाली वो क्वालिटी गिराएगा लेकिन वो टॉक्सिक नहीं है। अब दूसरा क्वेश्चन मैं दे रहा हूं, एक दूध वाला है, वो कहता है मैं तो 32 रुपए किलो 35 रुपए किलो दूध दे रहा हूं और मेरा दूध तो जो है नेचुरली पानी मिला हुआ है, तो इज इट एडल्ट्रेशन और नॉट? नो। Thank you very much. Next time we will talk that what is food adulteration and how this FSSAI has introduced and changed the definition of the adulteration. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful words and telling about for clearing the queries of the participants. Now, our Honorable Chancellor, sir, Shri Kuvar Shekhar Vijayji, will give blessings to us through online mode. So,
Good afternoon, everybody. I hope I am audible and visible. So I hope I am audible and visible. If somebody will confirm to me.
Yes, sir, audible.
Okay, fine. So good afternoon, everybody. I wanted to join initially at the time of inaugural, because I thought I should also learn from this wonderful topic, a discussion on food safety, chemical hazards, and management. But definitely due to certain engagements, I was not able to join. I'm sure that Monica must have shared a lot of things, her experiences, challenges, and as this topic is directly concerned with the interest area of the Vice Chancellor, Dr. Garg, so his deliberations must also have been very useful, along with the deliberations of Dr. Sahdev Singh and others. I'm not a subject expert, but as a consumer, as a person who use food, who take food, definitely it is a matter of concern for all of us, every day, every moment. These challenges are there, these challenges need to be addressed. And in addressing these challenges, when we look at the policies of the government, that the government must have this policy, that policy, there are 2-3 important things what we have to do. Being a university, every university in the country must initiate some research of social impact, where we can work on food safety, we can talk about chemical hazards, we can identify emerging risk, and we can find some solutions. Because food safety is a matter of awareness and ignorance also. Many times, as I was able to listen to the last question, what the Vice Chancellor was asking, mixing water in milk, if it is a good practice or not, or it is adulteration or not. These awareness need to be given and shared with public at large, with scientific validations, with some valid research. Providing education and training. Food is the most important thing we all think, we all talk about throughout our life. But in our schools, to our kids, we do not provide any education on this subject. We say, okay, अच्छा इसका दूध अच्छा नहीं, दूसरे से मंगा लेते हैं. इसकी मिठाई अच्छी नहीं है, दूसरे से मंगा लेते हैं. But what are the challenges? और ये फसल अच्छी नहीं है, हम कहीं और से ले लेते. We need to create awareness. We need to provide education, especially at school level, and our STEP program of the university can help in that, in creating that awareness among the young boys and girls, so that they understand the importance of food safety also, and what can be done at their level, at the smallest level, what can be done. Collaboration with industry and government and NGOs. A lot of research is required, and when we look at the food industry, many of the food items or maximum of the food industry is in MSME sector. And in MSME sector, the biggest challenge is they do not have R&D facilities. So I will suggest that to make this whole exercise meaningful, what we had today, this discussion, this expert talk, Shobhit University's concerned department and research scholars, those who are interested, they must try to connect with MSMEs to provide them consultancy. Recently, I was told that a university is providing some consultancy to UNIDO also on certain pulp and paper industry projects. And some test is happening in the university campus. The same way in food industry, we can provide, we have sufficient infrastructure. And connect will come. NGOs we can have in our extension program, a collaboration with NGOs. And this is what is very important and required. As in the university, we are having agriculture department also. Dr. Sahdev Singh is there, a very experienced man in the field of agriculture. We have a research farm also. what we have to do there? Generally, what we are doing, that we are having the same crops what others are having. I think we should try to engage ourselves, and we should try to train our boys and girls where, without using all these pesticides, or in an organic manner, we can do something which becomes an example for many others. Sustainability has to be there even in food items, and for that a solution has to be found. And definitely these talks, what we had today, they help. And as I was looking at the profile of Miss Monica Tyagi, so she is working in New Jersey. So definitely international experiences, exposures, case studies, they also need to be discussed, deliberated, debated in Indian scenario. I'm happy that at Shobhit University in agriculture technology, talking about agriculture, we are having 2 webinar series which are very intensively working in the direction, which are a series which is headed by Professor Moni. We must take some inputs from there. We must develop a white paper on today's deliberations and try to influence upon the policy makers also, if some such recommendations we were able to find today. I congratulate the department and everybody who was involved in today's exercise, and I am sure that many more such expert talks will be there in near future, because they are going to give a reason to our students to think critically, to identify problems, to understand the problems, what problems are there in the society, and to think about the possible solutions. Wherever there is a problem, solution also lies there. Just we have to discuss, we have to deliberate, and we have to ensure that our students, they understand the problem, and we guide them to identify, to find some solutions on it. So I'm looking forward for a white paper, a note, not a report, on today's discussion. And I am sure that this talk will give us a reason to work for the solution, at least in our vicinity, in the near areas. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me here. It was indeed a pleasure. God bless us all. Please take care. Thank you. Namaskar.
I would like to thank Chancellor Sir for his kind words. And now I would like to invite the Director of School of Biological Engineering and Life Sciences, Dr. Sahdev, for his kind words.
Good afternoon. Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. It's an honor to offer vote of thanks to the distinguished guest and Honorable Chancellor, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Honorable Pro VC, and Honorable Dean Set. It was a very enlightening expert talk, and I think these interactions will definitely result in moving forward. In food safety is becoming a critical issue now in every society. So I hope many of our students, our researchers will also focus on food safety management. So I would like to thank the distinguished guest, Ms. Dr. Monica Tyagi, and it was, I'm sure the students will find it very useful, as well as faculty members. And just to close my note, my address, I like Campbell soups. I used to eat them almost every day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for giving the vote of thanks. Now I would like to thank all the dignitaries which is present here for giving their valuable time for this session. I also thank our speaker, Mrs. Monica Tyagi, for telling about the different type of intelligence. She given an opportunity for us to guide the students as well as for motivating we people. Uh, I would like to thank our dean directors, HOD, who came here. At last, I have to thank my dear students for coming. With this words, I want to end the session. I request all the faculty members for the photo session and as children also.